Hello, everyone. It is episode 36 of This Week in Geek and the last This Week in Geek of the year. On this set, I am flying back home to Portugal tonight, and my name is Ren Geekness, and I'm, of course, joined as always by my good co-host, Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
Doing great, man. It's almost the end of the year. I can't believe that.
It is.
It's weird.
2
It's
weeks.
weird
2 weeks. It's
I know.
running fast. It's running fast.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny is next year, it's the end of the DCEU.
I mean, did it ever get started? That is the real question.
They tried. They kept trying.
They tried. They kept trying. Kept going back
trying.
on
their
attempt.
Maybe the next Superman movie will end its trilogy with Brandon Routh and Henry Cavill coming in and giving him advice on how to be Superman.
Superman, no way, Krypton.
Yeah,
that's the journey there.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We have a bit of a shorter, faster paced show today. As I said, I'm traveling back home, so we need to get this show done within the hour and 15 if we stretch it, if we need to stretch it, but optimally, let's aim for the hour, starting with, of course, the weekly ranking. That's when we begin and looking back on the week that we just had of movie watching and TV show watching sometimes, and rank everything we watch from worst to best. Then we're going to go into our main topic of discussion, which this week obviously is focusing on Avatar: The Way of Water. I've seen it twice. Zach, I believe you've seen it 3 times, and we're just going to discuss, was it worth 13 years? And then we're going to go into your questions and do our best to get to that, as many of them as possible. So without any further ado, I'm going to start us off in the weekly ranking. And the weakest thing I saw this week, I didn't dislike it, but it was the new animated Night at the Museum, Kamun-Ra Rises Again.
I didn't even know it was
very
a movie.
Disposable. Yeah, me neither. I thought it was a TV show, and I'm like, 1 hour and 20. Oh, it's a movie. Okay. So I just decided to watch it. It's fine. The animation is really good.
Do you like the other ones?
Oh yeah, really enjoy them.
Okay,
for sure.
So do I.
This is not bad, but it just feels like a lesser version of that trilogy,
Yeah.
On top of that, I'm going to have something from Tiffany's. This is on Prime Video, and it stars Zoe Deutsch, who I'm going to trust. We all adore her. Predictable. At one point, it just gets very coincidental, but it's also very smart in points, and the charm of the cast is just absolutely absurd. So give this one a watch. It's a nice little charming quick watch to warm you up for the holidays. On top of that, I'm going to have Avatar: The Way of Water. This is an ambitious project, but it is an imperfect one. I found it to be not thin in characterization, but questionable in characterization. However, being back in Pandora, it's just a world you absolutely find yourself immersed in. And I've already seen it twice, so this is for sure a good movie. And you should watch this on the biggest screen possible, multiple times. Years from now, Zach, we're going to be asking people, did you see Avatar: The Way of Water? And if they say the first time they watch it is at home, they haven't really seen Avatar: The Way of Water, You got to see it on the big screen to haven't actually seen it. On top of that, I'm going to have the original Avatar. I rewatched this after my first watch of the film because I went to the press screening. I just didn't have time to catch it before the new one. And it really holds up. The visuals, the story is better than we give it credit for. No, I didn't, because they were only showing it in IMAX 3D, and I would have to pay the IMAX price and the 3D price, and I'm like, that's just extortion,
Yeah.
But this one really holds up. The story is basic. The story is familiar, but it is solid, and it is effective in what it's aiming for and how it's aiming for it. On top of that, man, The Fabelmans.
Oh yeah, you finally got to see
it. This is the story of us all. It's filled with heart, it's filled with wonder, and it's quintessential Steven Spielberg because it feels so familiar to us all, and it has all the best assets of his directorial voice. But on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 of the week, Babylon. I am gushing about this movie at every chance I get. The review I put up for it is genuinely one of the best reviews I have ever put out on my channel. I'm extremely proud of it. Thank you very much. That is very kind. This film is sensational. I am preparing. In the meantime, Zach, I went to an FYC screening, and in the meantime, I got an invite for the press screening in January, and I am preparing a video essay for it.
Hell
So
yeah.
cross your fingers that the script gets done, that I am happy with the script, but I am working on something very special for this film because I
Would
just
you
want to keep
say
talking about it.
Damien Chazelle is your favorite current director right now? Over Nolan, over Spielberg, over like as of
Over
right
Spielberg,
now,
yes.
in this generation of movies making.
Let me adjust the title that we'll give him. He's the filmmaker who makes the movies I would like to make.
Okay.
Like maybe Nolan is my favorite director, but Nolan doesn't necessarily constantly make the movies I would like to make. That is Damien Chazelle. Like I would love to have made La La Land. I would love to have made Whiplash and First Man and now Babylon.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That is it for me.
Perfect.
What do you
Okay,
got?
I'm gonna rapid fire through mine, and I'll probably forget some because I watched a fuck ton of Christmas movies, and I've watched all the Shrek movies, and then I saw Avatar.
I know you watched Last Christmas.
I did. Fucking amazing
Yeah.
movie. Every year, me and my fiance watch it, and I fucking love that movie. And I was
Yes.
so sad. I was so tired, and I fell asleep like halfway through, and I was like, "No, we gotta go back." And I woke up right at the very end. Okay, so at the very bottom, don't ask why. My fiance's sister put this on, and I did not care to watch it, but I was sitting there, and I watched the entire thing because I was just curious. It is one of the worst things I've ever watched, called Temptation: Confessions of a Marriage Counselor from Tyler Perry.
Never heard of it.
Oh my fucking... Dude, I'm not even joking. Do you want to watch something that you could just absolutely die to? Like laughing while... Mm-hmm. They were really into it, so I was trying my best not to like laugh and like, but it's not good. It's not good. Up next after that is Shrek the Third. This movie fucking sucks. It's so generic as a Shrek movie, and it kind of broke my heart. Because as a kid, I used to really like this one, and the more I sit on it, the more I'm like, that was not good. And I kind of finally see why. And I think I've put off years later rewatching this one because I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to have my nostalgic bits from when I was a kid. I don't know why I watched this one so much as a child, but I did. Up next, I have Friends with Benefits. Justin Timberlake, Mila Kunis, adoring movie.
Sorry. In the I agree with you on Shrek the Third, but there is one really good joke in it when they're leaving on the ship.
Yes.
And they find out Fiona's pregnant. Yep. You, my friend, are...
Yeah.
That's a really good joke.
And Puss in Boots always has the best jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still haven't seen Last Wish, 100%. Right? It's not out there yet.
No,
right?
I'm going to see it Monday because it's out in Portugal. So I'm flying back home tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to see Avatar for a third time because everyone back home is like, we're going to watch Avatar. You got to come with us. I'm like, yes, I'm the movie guy. Of course
that's why I keep seeing on TikTok Puss in Boots scenes in Spanish. That's all I see, so it must be out in Portugal.
It probably is out in Mexico.
Okay.
Because it's like Coco. Coco came out very early in Mexico.
Okay, that makes sense then. Up next, I have the Santa Claus 1. I like this movie. A lot of fun. And then I have the Santa Claus 2, which I really enjoy. I like it a little bit more. And then I have Shrek Forever After. This movie was actually better than I remembered. It's a lot of fun, and it is insane to me that the Peacock app does not have this movie streaming, but whatever. Up next, I have let me see. Elf. I fucking love Elf. Yes. I could rewatch this every single day. And tied with that is Last Christmas. I think Last Christmas is like one of my favorite Christmas movies now. It's super sweet. It's genuine. I just fucking adore it. After that, I have Shrek 2. This is a perfect movie for me. The next 3 you're going to hear me talk about are perfect movies. But I love Shrek 2. Like, that's just...
So you're going to have the first one ahead of 2. Most people have 2 at the top.
I have 2. 2's my favorite. 2's ahead of 1 for me. I already watched 1.
Okay.
I finished out the rest this week. And then next I have, drum roll, Babylon in my second place. I've seen Babylon twice now. I love it. I wish I could go back and do my review because I would have given this an A+ instead of an A. It's fucking great. I'm convinced my fiance to go see it next week. I told her I would go take her to see The Whale because I really wasn't wanting to see that again. That one really fucked me up. But I said, if we're gonna go see The Whale, you have to watch Babylon in theaters. So
yes.
So now she's
fastest 3 hours of my life, I should add. Like, it's one of those films I would get out and go immediately back into a theater again.
That's how I felt when I finished Babylon 2. I didn't feel the 3 hours. And I will never, and you'll know this, and everyone in the live chat, quiet on set. You will never hear it
never the same way again.
Dude,
never the same way again.
I was fucking laughing so hard. It's like unfathomable. Like there's so many
we were in line for the press screening of Avatar, and I had one friend who had also seen Babylon. And before everyone else arrived, like, who hadn't seen it, he was like, what was your favorite scene? And I'm like, well, there's this scene, and then there's this scene. And eventually we just basically named every fucking scene in the movie.
I love it.
Because, like, there isn't a weak
link. The
link.
snake scene. And that's what I love.
I mean, the party at the beginning, like, even before the title comes on screen, like, there's about a half an hour, 20 minutes at the very least before the title comes on screen. It's one of those, guys. It's one of those.
And that's the thing, because I was so surprised. I was worried that the movie was just going to be like all debauchery and stuff like that, and humor, and it actually has a sweeter sense to it. I would even say I saw people being like, Brad Pitt should not be nominated because it's like the same performance from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it's like, yes, on the surface it is, but it gets a lot deeper.
We saw different movies then. Yeah,
this performance is stronger than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Specifically in the end of his entire story arc that you see.
That entire scene, that scene, I turned to Bruno and I'm like, this is gonna happen. And then it happens.
So, but yeah, I love this movie, man. It's so good. And then at my number one, though, is Avatar: The Way of Water. I've seen it 3 times, seeing it a 4th time today, seeing it a 5th time Monday. And I think
I'm gonna end up seeing it as many times as you, despite not liking it as much as you.
And I've
seen it twice, gonna see it 3 times tomorrow. Then my mom also wants to see it, and then another friend of mine who's not around for tomorrow also wants to see it.
Yeah. So, and that's my thing. I really much, I didn't plan this out, but like the first 2 times there was no guest pass, so I went and saw it by myself. The 3rd time, I went with my fiance because I got a guest pass. Today, we're taking her mom to see it. And then I haven't been able to take my best friend who wants to see it. So for his Christmas present, I was like, I'll buy you your ticket because they're fucking expensive. Nice. So then 5th time. And then if I can convince my family to go see it, I'm going to go see it a 6th time after the holidays. But my dad and my mom do not want to sit through a 3-hour movie. And I mean, maybe at least for me, it didn't feel like 3 hours. Like that movie it's everything I wanted it to be. I understand some people's complaints. I watched your review and, I understood where you were coming from, but for me, like this is better than the first one for me. And I saw the first one 3 times on the re-release. So, I don't know. Like there's just something special about this movie that really struck out to me. And I'm also fascinated with the ocean. Like as a kid, I would study the ocean. That was like my big passion. So I think a lot of that reasoning comes because I just love the ocean and everything they were able to do. Plus, I also know what 3, 4, and 5 are about. So I think that kind of gets me a little bit more excited, but I cannot talk about that in public. I made a lot of promises on that one, but yeah, I love this movie. It's my favorite film of the year, I think. But I'm going to rewatch Babylon one more time. I'm going to rewatch The Batman one more time and really definitively see which one's my number 1, 2, and 3. But that's my lineup right there. I don't know what's going to kick out.
And with that, stay tuned for Zach's and mine's best movies of the year.
When's yours going
up? So it depends because I have 3 more movies to watch. There's Puss in Boots, I Want to Dance with Somebody, and Pale Blue Eye. I'm not sure if I'm getting Pale Blue Eye on time, and depending on when I watch it.
I thought it was technically coming out next year.
Because it's getting a limited release this year, and they're already sending out screeners. I'm going to count it as this year.
Yeah, I went on my account and it was there, but I was like,
shit.
Yeah, because they wanted us to vote on it, and I'm like, we didn't really push it this hard. Our deadline was today. I was like, our deadline's today. This doesn't tell me to really watch this movie.
Yeah.
So
I still need to request it. So depending on when I get it, when I get the review up, how I feel about it, blah blah. So At best, the best list will go up on the 30th. At worst, it
Mhm.
will go up on the 31st.
You're doing a top
And if
10.
it goes up on the top 10,
Okay.
and then also the worst list, and then on the 1st of January, the most anticipated movies of the year list.
Which year did you do
Uh,
more than 10? I feel like there was a year you did more than 10, or I could be wrong.
yeah, last year I
Okay,
did
last year was the one you did more than 10.
15.
Okay.
And then I think 2016, like after my first year, I did 20.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. Diminutian Scott. Weekly ranking. Number 8, Stargirl series finale. Number 7, Super Sentai Ginga Man. Number 6, Thor the Dark World. Number 5, Justice League. Over Thor the Dark World? Damn. Number 4, Iron Man 2. Number 3, Bumblebee. Number 2, Batman 89. And number 1, Black Adam. I like that Black Adam positioning, brother. Nathan Madigan, weekly ranking. Number 4, Emily the Criminal, solid. I agree. Number 3, Avatar, rewatch, very good, holds up well. Number 2, A Christmas Story, great, never seen it. Number 1, Casablanca, fantastic. And it is. Bruna gave me the 80th anniversary 4K Steelbook for Christmas, and it's so good. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but
Casablanca's one?
it'll yeah.
That's awesome.
They just re-released it and I missed it.
Mhm.
And so she got it for me. They just really like in theaters for like a week. So it was a very small window. And I didn't catch it. So she gave it to me, one of her presents for me, and it's really good. It looks really good. I haven't seen it
That's
yet, but yeah.
exciting.
Eric Thorpe reviews weekly ranking for the last 2 weeks. Number 1, Die Hard. Number 3, Avatar. Number 4, Avatar: The Way of Water. Number 4, The Sopranos. Number 5, Better Call Saul. Number 6, The White Lotus. Number 7, Senior, the Robert Downey Jr. documentary, which I also really want to watch.
That is okay. That's another one I need to watch.
Not that I'm going to review it, but I want to watch it. Number 8, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Number 9, Pretty Woman. Never seen it. Number 10, Spider-Man 94, the greatest animated Spider-Man series ever. Number 11, Violent Night. Violent Night is low. Number 12,
Awesome.
Wednesday, season 1. Jack Alexander, good friend of the show. Number 5, My Policeman. Number 4, Love Actually. Number 3, A Christmas Story Christmas. Number 2, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And number 1, Bros. Let's not forget about Bros. Bros deserves a shout out. A riotous comedy, if I've ever seen one. GKP weekly ranking for 2 weeks as well. Number 10, Avatar, seeing Way of Water tomorrow. Number 9, Emily the Criminal. Number 8, Jack Ryan. Number 7, Ingrid Goes West. Number 6, White Lotus Season 2. I forgot to rank White Lotus myself because I was disappointed with the finale, but still.
I heard that a
lot. It's good. It's good, just disappointing. Number 5, Puss in Boots. To quote Stephen someone, you smoking crack, Shrek 1 and 2 are way better. No, they're not. No, they're not. They don't have the cat going ooh every time. So that right there puts it on top. I hope that cat is back for number 2. Don't tell me if he is. Don't tell me if he is or not. Number 4, The Black Phone. Over Puss in Boots. Number 3, Banshees of Inisherin. So good. Number 2,
Perfect,
A Monster Calls. I haven't seen this one in a while, but if I need a good cry, that's a go-to. And number 1, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That's a really
A Monster
good
Calls
ranking,
is fucking awesome. And I won tickets to see that before I was pressed.
I hate it. It destroys me.
That movie pissed me off because when I went to the screening,
amazing,
they had trivia about the director beforehand.
Oh.
And I kept raising my hand and they never picked me. And then they were like, what's his first film ever? And I fucking knew it. And I raised my hand and I had my hand raised and they were just like trying to go for kids. And I'm like, fuck you.
They're not going to know.
No. So this little kid says, I think it's The Orphan, right? Or
yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah.
The Orphanage.
And this little kid goes,
it's a scary movie.
Yeah. And I'm like, that fucking kid just looked it up. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking way he knew that.
I think you've told this story before. It's sounding familiar.
That's all I remember of that movie, and crying. That's all I remember is those two things.
It will make you cry.
Yeah.
Patrick Burrow, our good friend, weekly ranking number 6, Avatar. Number 5, Shrek. Someone else is also watching Shrek. Number 4, Curse of Black Pearl. Number 3, Puss in Boots 2, ahead of the original Shrek. Number 2, Shrek 2, and number 1, Die Hard, the best Christmas movie. Hell yes, brother. Hell yes.
Nah, Turbo Man. Turbo Man.
Turbo Man, come on. Put the cookie down. Weekly ranking by Luis Feliciano with the Barbie picture now as his icon. Number 5, Superbad. Number 4, Easy A. Number 2, Babylon. Number 3, Babylon. Number 2, Wednesday. And number 1, Avatar: The Way of Water. I will question the Wednesday ahead of Babylon, brother, but good ranking. Thank you for sharing.
Did you watch all of Wednesday? I didn't finish
Yeah, I did.
Finish it.
I did.
Did you like it all? Does it get better? I watched the first 5, and I just couldn't get into it.
To answer that, does it get better question, depends on your issues with the show. Because my issues with the show are continuous. It was like, this would be a much better show if she was the only weirdo. She's put into this X-Men or like school, and so she doesn't stand out.
That's my issue.
Yeah. I say if you made it through 5, keep watching because it's a good show. Especially like Jenny Ortega is a fucking superstar. But like I don't love it.
She's the best part of the entire show.
Like at episode 5 did have the parent. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm going to
I haven't seen the parents again. I haven't seen the parents.
Oh, you haven't seen the parents again? No. So there's a. I think it's at 6. Then there's a storyline in one episode involving the parents, and I'm like, this would be much more tension filled and create more stakes if the normal people didn't know about the supernatural elements of the show.
Okay.
So that's another issue that piles on top of the whole.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. It was a weird choice to make it like that, to be honest. I thought it was going to be, oh, she's the only weirdo. But then like once they started going around, like, oh no, everyone's fucking weird. In fact, they're more weird.
Exactly.
Than her.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, there are many more people who are more weird than her. So yeah, that was my disappointment with the show. All right. As for our topics, before we go on and do as many of your questions as possible, Avatar: The Way of Water. It's been literally, I don't know if it is to the day, but the original Avatar came out in December 2009. This one's coming out December 2022. Literal 13 years since the original Avatar.
Just like in the movie.
Just like in the movie, yes, for a reason. So after so much time, after so much hype, after constant delays, and say we're going to do it, and we're going to do 3, and we're going to do 4, and we're going to do 5, was it worth the wait? I'm going to start this one if that's okay, Zach.
That's fine.
The answer very easily is no. But that is to say, I don't know if the best thing ever would be 13 years worth of wait. And I say this as someone who was not constantly tremendously excited as much as I've always really liked the original Avatar. I wasn't feeling that sense of hype as much as Zach was. And even I say, I don't think it was worth the wait. I don't think many things, like you can maybe count on one hand or half of a hand how many things are worth 13 years of wait. So if I was feeling like that going into this film, Zach and the other people who were absolutely elated to finally get this film, I cannot even imagine how torturous that wait was. Because at some point, I gave up in like anticipating.
So that's where I was, to be honest. Like 5 years ago, not even 5 years ago, because we knew they were filming around 5 years ago. When the first movie came out, I was so like, I only saw the first movie one time in theaters, but it was enough for me to go, I fucking love this movie. And I was young, but there was something that was so, it was my first Cameron film ever in theaters, because obviously I don't even think Titanic was out until I was born, or if it was, I was way too young to remember.
I did see the Titanic re-release. No,
I did
but that
too.
was after Avatar. No, never mind. Never mind. That was after Avatar.
Oh, well, okay. Right. Then yeah. So that's my thing. Like and Cameron for me shaped a lot of my childhood. Terminator is like one of my favorite things of all time. I mean, the first and second movie was on repeat in my fucking house. Should it have been? Probably not, but it was.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. Oh, no, I was
not a huge Alien fan, but Aliens 2 was fucking awesome when I finally saw it. I liked it a lot. I never watched The Abyss until this year, so that's not really a thing. True Lies I didn't watch till a couple years ago. And Titanic, Jesus Christ, that was on in my house all the time too. We had both VHSs. You'd pop it in, pop it out. So when that first Avatar movie came out, my dad never went to the theaters unless it was either a movie I really wanted to see. And to be honest, as a kid, I did not even know Avatar was the thing. My dad just says, everyone keeps saying that this is a movie you have to see in theaters, and I want you to see it in theaters. So what did I do? I said, okay, let's go see it. I didn't see a single trailer for I've never seen a trailer for the first one. I've never seen a trailer for the first one. And I remember he took me to see it, and I was like, this is fucking everything I could ever want. But it's one of those movies that I heavily preserved. I never watched it again at home. I never wanted to. I just wanted to preserve that theatrical experience. Now, this year, I did rewatch it at home. I did want to feel that experience, see if I still loved it just as much, and I do. I think the first movie is perfect. And I think this one's perfect, at least coming from someone who is really into Avatar. Like, again, you like the first one a lot, but you don't think it's
really
perfect.
Like the first one.
So
I thought it was perfect. Like when it came out, I was like, this is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. And that's where I go as far as say, like, I love this movie and I cannot wait to see. Now, I did tweet out something. You said that Geeks of the This Week in Geek was going to be canceled. Now I posted that more of trying to see who would react to it, and also genuinely, I didn't just mean MCU and DCU, but I knew people would react if I just said that. I genuinely just meant
because those are the hot buzzwords.
Yeah, but reality is, if you told me, Zach, we can only get 6 blockbusters a year, but every 2 years you're going to get a new Avatar film, I'd be fine with that. Because my experience of seeing Avatar is like the most immersive thing. And that's not because of just the 3. I mean, the 3D is excellent. And I fucking hate 3D. I have to wear glasses over the glasses. So that does not, like, it hurts. It fucking sucks, but I'm in for it. And I thought the 3D was great in here. Like, genuinely, for a 3-hour movie, when a movie gets past 3 hours runtime, it's really hard for me to be, I want to see this movie again. That's just the truth. I have a lot of shit to do. I don't want to be sitting down for 3 hours and 8 minutes doing nothing but just watching something. But every time I've finished it, I'm like, I'm going to see this again. And Avatar: The Way of the Water, did it live up to the hype? Yes, for the most part, but also because I lost my hype. I genuinely lost my hype until maybe 2 weeks prior. Or let me go back. Until I had seen the re-release. Once I saw the re-release, I started getting a lot more excited because I got to see that scene, one of the scenes in the movie in there. I was like, okay, the 3D is like fucking incredible.
What scene did they
play? The 3 times I saw it, I saw 2 different scenes. One was when one of the kids is swimming with the whale, like the first time he meets that whale. So you see that whole scene of him taking the thing out and swimming. The other scene was them for the first time going under the water and swimming with the other kids and learning how to swim. So those are both my bathroom breaks now. And those scenes, I was like, oh my God, like I just got done watching Avatar, and the 3D and the visual effects are like 10 times already better, like right here, like watching it back to back. So I was really excited after that, but I never thought this was actually going to happen. Like, genuinely, I really did not think so. And I know we're getting 3. I know he's talked about if this movie bombs, he's not going to make 4 and 5. They're going to make 4 and 5. That's just for China alone.
This one is not going to bomb. Honestly,
no.
Like at this point, we know it's not going to bomb.
Yeah.
If Avatar 3 bombs, though, he's going to send a Terminator back in time to kill his mother.
Which he probably could. He probably knows how to.
He could.
You cannot.
He is James Cameron.
Like, you cannot tell me they did not go to another planet and film this. You can't.
I mean, this is the guy who has a fucking submarine, and he just out of his whim went down to the Marianas Trench.
Do you think they'll do a behind the scenes thing on Disney Plus for this movie? They have to. I have
sort of an assembled kind of thing.
Yes.
Honestly,
like in a couple months,
because it's James Cameron. I don't know if he wants that, because it's the same like Spielberg.
It'll be on the Blu-ray.
Director's comment. Yeah, Spielberg never has director's commentary, which is a fucking shame. Nobody's perfect, but because it's James Cameron, like any other filmmaker, most other filmmakers would be like, "Yeah, Disney wants to do it, they're gonna do it." But maybe he doesn't want it, you know. But I hope so.
Because I was trying to find. I was trying to see like video of them filming, and there's only pictures, and like. I want to see the whole process, because like they had like a giant like pool that they would literally all deep dive into. And like it's fucking insane. And to think that all of that becomes Pandora, like it's insane to me, man. Like I just don't know how they do it.
No pun intended.
No.
All right, everyone. With that, I don't think he lived up to the hype. Zach thinks he lived up to the hype mostly, and he really went into thorough detail about why. Let us know what you think of it if you've seen Way of Water, and let's go into your questions. Again, we're going to do as many of them as we can, but we can't promise we'll do them all. So we start with Lady Aaron. Do you think we got exactly the right amount of info needed for that Barbie teaser trailer, or do you think we should have had more to see from that trailer? As a first teaser, I think that was absolutely perfect.
Yep.
It gives you a little bit of the look. It tells you a little bit of the tone, the self-awareness, the tongue-in-cheek sort of humor that it's gonna have. I mean, it just gives you everything you could want if you don't want to see too much. I don't know if this is going to be one of those where, yeah, I can watch the next trailer, but it's also the kind of teaser that tells you they're going to release at least 2 more trailers. There's no way we only get another one. They're
and that's what worries me, because this is technically a comedy. Comedies are about only an hour and 30, hour and 40.
I think it's going to be 2 hours.
Oh, you think so? I'm interested to see. You know, for me, it's Noah Baumbach's also writing this. Like,
yes,
Noah is an incredible writer. Greta Gerwig, don't get me wrong, she's an amazing director and she's a great writer. Noah Baumbach is one of did you know he wrote Madagascar 3? What the fuck?
I did not. That's the best Madagascar.
Yeah.
I said it weird for some reason. It came out weird.
He wrote
Madagascar
that script, dude. Isn't that wild? So I don't know, man. I'm really excited.
This they co-wrote it, husband and wife, Barbie and Ken in real life.
Yeah, man. So remember when it was supposed to be Amy Schumer?
Oh God! And before that, it was Anne Hathaway. By the way, do you think we got like what we needed, or do you think we should have gotten more?
No, it's perfect tease. I honestly I don't know if I'll watch the next trailer. I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know either, but it's one of those where I could see myself going, yeah, I can watch this.
I get worried with comedy, like things that have comedy in them, because they spoil so many of the comedy moments, and that's the only reason I'm like genuinely worried about it. Like every comedy that I've really enjoyed over the last few years, I haven't watched a trailer for, or I only watched one. Like Game Night was like one of the biggest surprises. I never even saw a trailer for it. So I'm still debating on that, but I will say this: all my friends who have seen the Barbie trailer did not like it. They said, "I don't get what it's about," and I'm like, "Well, that's why it's a teaser." And I have to like explain that to them. But they say, "Well, when I saw it in theaters, I thought it was going to be like a full thing." So I kind of get their perspective as they're waiting. Like, you know, you're sitting to watch all the trailers. Most of them are about 2 to 3 minutes. This one's only like 1 minute and 5 seconds. So I get where they're coming from, but I'm like, it's a teaser. Movie still is like quite a bit away.
Yeah. Lady Aaron also asks, how are you guys feeling now that Henry Cavill is confirmed to not be returning as Superman? Same as last week. It's a waste. I'm no longer emotionally invested in DC at this point. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer we got over the week? It's a fun trailer, man. You see so much. It's so chaotic in the best possible way. Spider-Man PS1 is there from the game I could never finish. I always got to the last trailer the last level where it's essentially you got to run away from Octopus Carnage, and I never beat that game. I could never fucking beat that game, but I loved it. And then there's Spider-Man 2 as well. Got to go back and play those games. And then you have Spider-Man Unlimited, a show everyone fucking hates, but it's just cool to see him there. So I hope we get Spider-Man the Animated Series as well. Yeah. It's
I gotta
really,
imagine
really
every
fun.
Spider-Man's in here. Every single one.
Yeah, at this point,
like I'm telling you, Toby and Andrew are in this. I don't care if it's
and
like
Tom.
that scene. And Tom, I think Tom's in this one, right? I think you see the back of his suit, right?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, so I watched a breakdown. I don't know if it was from a still that they released, but it looks like
I watched the 3Cs.
Okay, it's the black suit one, like the red and black is what I think he's wearing. Okay. So I could be wrong, but that's But yeah, I mean, they're going to talk. Like, it'll be a quick gag. Miles goes through, and maybe it's like a No Way Home scene. Like, maybe Miles bursts through there, and he's like, and what if it's like live action? That would be fucking cool. Like, just.
It is expensive, though. So I think it'd be much more like they turn Toby and Andrew and Tom into animation over turning everyone else into live action and bringing them back as well. Like, I think it'd just be way too overcomplicated. It's the filmmaking in me,
Well,
filmmaker in
maybe
me
yeah.
that
I
like
just think
destroys these hopes and
I
dreams.
was just thinking they were in No Way Home. They were filming it. And they're like, hey, we're just gonna run him
I
in through real
I
fast.
will gladly eat my words. I
Will
will
you shit
gladly eat
yourself
my
if
words, man.
2099 has a live action suit just for a couple seconds?
I will
That suit
cream,
looks
man. I
cool,
will
dude.
cream in that theater.
He looks so cool. He looks so cool, and he looks
He's
more
very
buff
much the
now.
Batman of the Spider-Verse.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
we're supposed to be the good guys.
2099's
We are.
yeah, 2099 is one of
Uh,
my favorite
I
Spider-Mans.
hope he
So
gets the white suit. Because I
that'd
love
be
his
cool.
original suit. Don't get me wrong. That suit stood the test of time for years. But ever since they introduced that white and red
Mhm,
with the black leg suit,
mhm.
oh,
Oh, dude, I would
that's the
also love to
Spider-Man
see
suit.
Miles's 2099 suit. His suit's cool as fuck too. I like
Yeah,
his,
true.
so I'd like to see his if they do that.
Lady Aaron, with Babylon coming out in the US next week, it's only fair I ask this question, including Babylon in your list. How would you rank Damien Chazelle's movies from least favorite to favorite, and why for each spot? La La Land is number one, everything else is number two. That's a cheat, but for Damien Chazelle, that's what it is. La La Land is still just the number one.
I'm not
Zach,
answering this because I have a video coming out today on this.
All right, perfect. Today, nice. I have my top 10 best TV shows of the year video coming out later today, 7 p.m. GMT. Check what that is for your time. The video is scheduled. And tomorrow I have a short coming out of my top 3 favorite James Cameron movies. And for Babylon, I might just record a Damien Chazelle ranking for the fuck of it. So yeah. Lady Aaron, thoughts on the trailer for the new Adam Driver movie 65 that comes out in March next year? This was fun. I had never heard of this. I didn't know what it was. I am very afraid that they're saying writers of A Quiet Place and producer Sam Raimi and like, who the fuck is the director? But just judging from the trailer, this is fun. It's the exact right kind of dumb that you want from a movie of this caliber. Adam Driver in action sci-fi. I'm ready for that era. Zach, what did you think of the trailer for 65?
I did not watch the trailer because my friend
Okay.
has seen the movie and told me not to
Oh.
watch the trailer. And then I saw
Okay.
it was about dinosaurs.
Yeah,
And
they
I
revealed that in the poster.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that's why he told me not to watch anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how pissed are you gonna be
mean,
if they don't show up until the last 10 minutes?
I don't think that's going to be it. I think the thing is going to be he comes from the future, but somehow went through a wormhole and landed on Earth 65 million years ago.
Yeah, I've
That's
heard
why
it's
called
awesome. I heard the movie's
65.
great, so I'm
It
excited to
looks
watch
really
it.
good. It looks really
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is one of those.
Lady Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Golden Globes nominations and Critics' Choice nominations we got over the week? Were there any minor surprises that you didn't see coming at all? Any snubs that made you shocked? No. Again, I don't pay any attention to the Golden Globes. They're absolutely worthless, and I squat out something worth more than the Golden Globes every day after coffee. So don't care for the Golden Globes and what they have to say about anything. Critics' Choice, they are very valid, very prestigious award to give, but I just didn't see them. I just didn't pay attention. Zach, did you see anything about the Critics' Choice?
I don't give a fuck.
Alrighty. Lady Aaron, what are you feeling towards Ash actually leaving the anime Pokemon after 25 years, and what are your hopes towards the new protagonists starting in the next series later in 2023? Ash is retiring at 10 years old. Those are my thoughts. I'm actually curious, like, to see those 12 episode segments of like his final journey with Pikachu. In regards to the new protagonists, I don't have any thoughts because I'm not planning on watching the show, honestly. But cool. It's one of those things like we never thought we'd see it happening, but it's really the end of an era for Pokemon, and they're like throwing away like essentially the mascot of the series from a television show. So I'm wondering if the new protagonists are going to have a Pikachu onto themselves, or if we're going to get a new Pokemon mascot. Because for 25 years or 20 years? No, 25, because 1997. 25 years, Pikachu, ever since the beginning, he's the face of Pokemon. So, yeah. Zach, what are your thoughts on this? Because I know you also don't watch the anime, but, you know.
So I used to be really
did.
into the anime. You know, the first 3-4 seasons and all those first 4 movies, first 5, first 4, I fucking loved. And I still love Pokemon. You know, I am not as big into it as I was when I was younger, specifically within the games. Like I still go back and just replay those games because those are the games that I enjoy the most. But it's a little depressing to me that Ash is leaving. I genuinely do want to kind of see the finale, like kind of that, but I think they still do the dub, so I'm gonna wait, just because that's the voice that I am remembering of.
As much as I always defend subs, Pokemon is one of those anime that dub.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, I still have not watched My Hero. I still need to watch this season.
I'm late on My Hero as well.
Yeah. But I like binging anime more than watching week to week. That's just how I work. So I'm sad, you know, it's kind of depressing. From what I heard, because I asked a couple people, it is not going to be Pikachu. I heard that their mascot's going to be the new Pokemon that were in this one, the new starters.
Cool.
I mean,
that's Coco cool. Should be the new mascots.
that's the one I have. So,
me too.
So I don't know. I'll be honest. I think half the people talking about this, like publicly, aren't even watching the anime. So
yeah,
like,
I mean, at this point, if you never stopped watching the anime, you're just gonna keep watching. Don't lie to yourself.
Exactly. Like, so that's my thing. It's like the same thing with One Piece. Like the day One Piece ends, there's gonna be so many people going, "Oh my god, One Piece is over," and I'll be like, "Yeah, that's kind of wild. That's finally over." I have no idea what the fuck's going on because I haven't watched it in almost 10 years. So,
yeah.
That's how that works.
Lady Aaron, what are your favorite memories of Ash Ketchum that you'll never forget
I'm
about?
not gonna be able to do this.
No idea. Like Aaron also asked for like top 5
the day Butterfree
Pokemon battles and all. Like no idea.
I know one scene. I can remember one scene vividly. It's because I had a ton of the VHSs, and it's when Brock kept getting punched by the Mankey, and I would laugh my fucking ass off every single time. And that it's like early in the first season. I remember taking out the VHS, putting it in the rewinder, rewinding it like a minute, putting it back in. I broke that fucking VHS from doing that.
Wow.
That was like my favorite thing as a kid. I also like all the Ghost episodes because I'm huge on Gengar. But I mean,
have you gotten the Gengar?
Yes. So nice. my fiance, I caught a Haunter, leveled him up, and I told my fiance, I'm like, hey, I just want to trade with you for this, and then you're gonna trade him back. She goes, but I want a Gengar, and I said, you don't even fucking know who this is. So what did I do? When she was sleeping, I took her Switch, loaded it up, traded me the Haunter, traded it back.
I hope she doesn't watch the podcast, man. I hope she doesn't watch it.
It's 42 minutes and she won't. Hopefully, this will be the one fucking episode you watch.
Look, I will say this: my favorite Pokemon movie is Mystery of the Unknown, number 3 with Entei. That's the best Pokemon movie by far. So yeah, I love that one. This is a good question from Lady Aaron. With the next 2 weeks being holidays, Christmas and New Year's, I'm certain that there will be a show in 2 weeks on New Year's Eve, but is there a show next Saturday because it's Christmas Eve? Can you do a show next Saturday? Do you want to do a show next Saturday? I was actually going to talk to you.
I can't. We're setting up. I know her mom won't watch this, but we got her a 65-inch TV. So what we're going to do is convince her mom to go leave her apartment, and then we're going to take the TV and set it up. And then we're going to take a picture of it, go print it, and put it in a box. So I have to get all that set up. So I know we were going to talk about that. But New Year's Eve, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that one works because that's just in the morning. That one works for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, will it still be New Year's Eve for you, though? No, yeah, it will be. I'll just be.
Yeah, it will be. Like, it says it right now. Like, it's 7 a.m. for you, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. So it's still.
Yeah.
We're not that separated. If you did a podcast with Dave Lee Down Under, then it will get tricky. That's true.
Because Patrick,
with Patrick, yeah.
So,
like, Patrick is already on Sunday. So if he joins us 2 weeks from now, he's gonna be doing it from January 1st, 2023. All right. The Master of Gaming. Do you think Avatar 2 will beat Top Gun Maverick and be the new #1 box office movie of 2022? How much did Top Gun Maverick make? It was 1 billion.
I'll look it up right now.
Okay.
It was 1 billion. It's the only movie that made $1 billion. Or besides besides Jurassic. So it's at 1.4 billion. It'll make more than 1.4.
You think so? I think I would be willing to bet it beats it, but I don't think it beats it by much. Because the thing with Avatar, I think it's gonna go to the billion. I don't think it reaches 2 billion. So yeah.
Okay, so again, maybe this is because I'm on the Avatar high. I think it gets super duper close, and that's not with domestic.
That's fair.
This is because of China. China, the first movie made almost $1 billion alone in there. So I think it's supposed to make like $200 million out there, which would be the all-time record. And the thing with it is there's not really any movies coming out. Like there are like Megan's coming out, but I don't care for that. There's the Whitney Houston movie coming out. There's really nothing till Ant-Man. Like Craven's gone out of January. So there's no
I got my invite for Megan.
Me too.
On January, I got Megan on the 10th and then Babylon on the 11th.
Are you excited for Megan?
I am, because when I went to my screening for Violent Night, the crowd was a riot during that
Seriously?
trailer.
Okay.
Like I'm not saying this is an excellent movie. I'm saying I'm very into how stupid this movie is.
That's the thing. I know someone who saw it and they're like
when she starts dancing, I'm like, holy shit.
So you just think it's gonna be a good movie you make fun of?
Yeah. Like, it is from the writer of Malignant, so there's a good chance I might hate it.
Oh, that's true. So, I love Malignant.
I know you do. The Master of Gaming also asks, what's you and Zach's most anticipated movie of 2023? Check out on the 1st of January for our top 10 most anticipated movies of the year list. Well, mine is going up on January 1st. I'm assuming yours goes too, but I
mine is too. If not, I might put it up the 31st, like the day of New Year's Eve, but we'll see.
That's fair. That also works. Nathan Holton, why do you think Avatar 2 has a lower Rotten Tomato score at 78 to Avatar 1 at 82? Because it's not as good as Avatar 1. Personally, I
genuinely think it's a different generation of critics now. It's a complete
also
13
true.
Years later. Like half those critics who watched 2009 might not be reviewing movies anymore. And now there's also more critics reviewing.
Yeah, but either way, like, it implies that it shouldn't be one way or the other. Like, it's the same thing as if we had someone asking, why do you think Avatar 2 has a higher percent? Like, it just worked worse for people, or it just worked better for people. And like Zach says, there's also the variant of there's also the variant of the variable, not variant. I'm thinking MCU. The variable of there's so much more critics across so many generations, a diverse groups from different cultures, different creeds, different life experiences. So yeah, like in layman's terms, if you ask me, it's because the first one is just a better movie. So yeah. Nathan Holton, what are your theories for Avatar 3 and beyond if you have more? Well, Zach cannot possibly answer this question because you know literally what happens.
I literally know.
For myself, I have no theories. I'm not thinking about it. And it would imply like to give spoilers for what happens in this one. So yeah. So the next two questions from Nathan Holton and Master of Gaming are in part the same. Both ask about our thoughts on the Barbie trailers. There's a trailer reaction on my channel. There's a trailer reaction on Zach's channel for the Barbie trailer.
I was so happy to see you did a trailer reaction. I
just follow my gut, honestly. Yeah. I was like, I just sat down and I recorded the intro for my top 10 TV shows of the year, and the Barbie trailer came out, and I'm like, fuck it, why not? I knew it was not going to do incredible, and it didn't do incredible.
Did yours get copyrighted?
It did, and I haven't appealed it because I didn't notice it until I left the house to watch morning. Avatar.
I didn't even know it got fucking claimed until I logged in. I was like going in. I was like, what the fuck?
Because the Gmail associated with my YouTube is not the Gmail I use like as my main anymore, because he has a cringy teenager name that I gave. You know, so I only really pay attention to it like to check for copyrights and such. But because I've grown so used to not getting those, especially from Warner Brothers, who in fairness, they have gotten incredibly good at not giving those bogus copyright strikes for the most part until this one came in. So I'm going to appeal it tomorrow. Like, I'll have no time tonight. But so for our thoughts on the Barbie trailer, go watch our trailer reactions. They're right now up on the channel. Support other videos. But Nathan Holton also asks about the Oppenheimer trailer. I did not get that trailer
Same.
because they did not play it in Dolby,
I hope I
just
see
in
it today.
IMAX. Did you not see it then?
I hope I'm seeing it today because both my
Okay.
screenings I've seen before are all press screenings, so there was no trailers.
All right, fair enough. So we haven't seen the Oppenheimer trailer. Nathan Holton, how much do you think Avatar 2 will make at the box office? So we just went over this. I don't think it gets that close to 2 billion, but I think it comfortably
It definitely will
crosses
be the
1
number one
billion.
film of 2022. Like if anyone's
I
looking
think
past
so.
that.
Not by much, but I think so. I wish Top Gun remained.
And that's the thing. I know some people are like, oh, it had low preview nights. It's a 3-hour fucking movie. Plus, the other thing you got to remember is Top Gun also is not in the top 5 for preview nights of the year. That film lived on legs. It lived on legs, and that's how Avatar.
It did really well. It did really well.
Yeah.
Like it was the highest opening weekend in Tom Cruise's career.
Yeah.
But even it made 70 million.
Yeah.
Like,
and this will end up probably being the biggest career opening for James Cameron because I think his
for Sam Worthington and for Zoe Saldana.
No, and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So, but everyone else, yes, like Sigourney Weaver and stuff like that.
Thoughts on the DC reboot looking like every actor is being replaced? We went over this last week, and
we'll probably talk about it more in the new year.
Yeah. I still feel right now it's a mistake, and I don't like it. Nathan Holton, thoughts on the Five Nights at Freddy's cast? I'm completely indifferent, but Zach has played the games. You are very invested in this. What are your thoughts?
This is perfect casting. If they're going off the first game, this is perfect casting. I'm actually more excited for this than I ever thought it would be. I'm also really excited because I have the Henson company doing the creature. So that's what really excites me. No matter how this movie turns out, I'm probably going to be very biased and enjoy it because of how they're doing the puppetry, as long as it's not fucking stupid. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a jump scare galore. That's the truth. But this is one of those things that I'm okay with that because of the element of how the games work. So I'm excited. I like the director they have in choice. I like the actors they have. I'm excited. I genuinely am excited. I want to see what this film will be about, though. So, because there's like 5 games and they all go fucking wild. So,
yeah. Nathan Holton, thoughts on the positive reception for Megan? I did not know it had positive reception because I haven't seen it myself, so I'm not paying attention to what others think about it until I see it. Did you see anything about this?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them all. The way I put it is, it's that first reaction. They bring it, and I had some friends who went. You have some mutual friends as well.
Okay.
So like for me, I don't want to say like, oh, they just like liked it because they like everything, but most of the time those first reactions that come out, it is a lot of people that like stuff. Megan, fair. I'm gonna be a little bit indifferent to, but maybe because Malignant didn't get pushed at all, and again, you hated Malignant. There's a lot of people who hate Malignant. There's also a lot of people like me who love Malignant. So maybe James Wan and Jason Blum are like, hey, we probably should have just pushed. They saw what happened to Malignant, and Jason Blum or whatever is like, let's push this one like this. So maybe that's why, but I don't
know. Do you think the Bike Riders will come out in 2023? Yes. I don't know anything about this movie apart from starring Austin Butler and I think Norman Reedus.
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy too.
Tom Hardy. So yeah, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Nathan Holton also asks, thoughts on Austin Butler, Fantastic Four rumors, and as Johnny Storm? Not the worst rumor I've heard. From all the choices that could be cast in this role, I think he very much fits the part. He's not my optimal choice. You all know I want a younger Johnny Storm to be a friend with Peter Parker and all that. But if we're going to go that older version of the character, this is a great fit, I think. Zach?
He needs to get rid of his Elvis voice, and I'll be excited. I love his Elvis voice, but I like listening. I feel bad. Like if you watch interviews with him,
I do not buy the Elvis voice on Johnny Storm.
Dude, it's stuck on him. It's fucking stuck on him. Like whoever who was his voice coach deserves a fucking Academy.
He needs a new one.
Like if Austin were to win, he needs to give the Academy to just his voice actor, his voice coach. Because and now I'm curious to see what's his voice in Dune. Is it different?
Yeah. For Fried Raufa, it's gotta be very different. Like that guy can definitely not talk like hell.
Exactly. So Thank you very much.
Thoughts on the Scream? Well, I guess you mean 6. Thoughts on Scream 6 trailer? It's fine, honestly. Cool. I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it was fine. It feels very much, the entire sequence feels very much like it was just made for the trailer.
But it is in the movie. I did confirm with someone it is in the movie.
Like, I think we still see like the set piece on the train, but like the scene that we got itself, it feels.
Did you see the Ready or Not costume in there?
No.
They have the bride. The bride's in there, and then one of the first kill she gets is in there too. Like the girl in front of her is like.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's literally right in the beginning when you see them coming down the stairs in all their costumes. She's one of the ones in the costumes. So.
Okay, nice. All right. I can't. I'm gonna go back now. Nathan Holton, do you think Avatar 2 will be nominated for Best Picture?
Yes.
I'm not super confident, but I don't think so. I think it just misses it. So yeah, that's
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, but I don't know how the Academy is going to work. I also don't know how their screeners are working for it, because what I will say for Babylon, they still don't have Babylon. They have FYCs coming up, but like on their screening platform, it's not on there.
We have seen Babylon before the Academy.
Pretty much. Like, and then critics, some of us got screener links. So like, it's kind of fucking baffling to me that your Academy voters do not have this film yet. So I'm actually more worried that Babylon's not going to get nominated and Avatar will. But it also just depends, because is Avatar going on there, or are they saying you have to come see it in theaters? Because that might alienate it too. So it really just depends on what they're doing. But what I will say is Top Gun will be absolutely nominated. So
yes, as it should. Eric Thorpe review. Nope, wait. Dominic Scott, how do you feel about all the cancellations at DC? Already talked about it. Eric Thorpe, even though I had an incredible week in LA and got to meet Game of Thrones actors, I'm still bummed because this news about Henry Cavill not being Superman. I don't know what James Gunn is thinking, unless it's a total reboot and are not bringing back a single actor from the DCU going forward. Then there is no good reason for this decision, in my opinion. Again, we already went over it as well. I'm not a fan. I'm just waiting for the inevitable announcement that Margot Robbie is not coming back as Harley Quinn. John Cena is not coming back as Peacemaker. Because if he just does the same thing again, it's going exactly against his
he has to do
statement that
complete reboot. Complete reboot.
So that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, and that's
you have the perfect Superman, you have the perfect Harley Quinn.
I think I mean genuinely, I think all the casting was perfect. I didn't have a single issue with any of the casting. Like Zachary Levi for me is the embodiment of what I would want for a Shazam. I mean, we can argue on the script and stuff, but like embodiment wise, he plays fucking Barry.
He's great. I loved him since Chuck.
So same. Chuck's one of my favorite shows of all time. So we can keep going in and around circles and circles on this, but I trust James Gunn. I don't fully love the idea, but if you're gonna total reboot it, prove me wrong. Whoever gets casted as Superman, though, God forbid, bless your fucking soul. Bless your fucking soul, because
half of the internet is going to be going for your throat.
Yeah. And I think they're going to prep them for that.
Yeah. Dominic Scott, have you both now seen Across the Spider-Verse trailer? Yes. How many Spider-Man did you know? I mean, I didn't count how many I noticed, but we went a little bit over it earlier from another question. Excuse me. Do you think Henry Cavill has any shot as James Bond now that he's officially out as Superman? No. And I cannot say why.
His last sentence is why. That's at least why.
Well, but he's going off a rumor.
Okay.
I know facts. So that's why. Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear anything. Well, I did, but like, it's hard to say. Like, I can talk about it publicly. This one I'm not afraid to talk about publicly. I'll talk about it publicly because I don't care. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I have heard, because it's on the internet. It's fucking everywhere. So I can talk about what I've seen, and then a confirmation I did get. I have heard Aaron Taylor Johnson is the next James Bond. Like, that is like almost I'm at like a 99.9% thing that he is the next James Bond. I can't say why.
He screen tested back in the fall.
Yeah, and that he killed.
And I know Like, unless something changes, obviously. But as of right now, I know when they're going to announce him.
Same here.
Officially.
I know that too.
Yeah.
So let me ask
So.
you, just on a, do you like that? I love that choice. I think that's actually a really good choice.
It's
Not one I would choose, but I like it.
I talked with Griffin over around the time when the first like rumors of it came out, and it's like my favorite kind of casting. It's like I would not have gone for him. I love this type of casting. It feels
so you
inspired.
also so that's kind of like
my
where
choice would have been Richard Madden.
Richard Madden would have been great too, but this is like great, especially after seeing Bullet Train. I'm like, let him do
Which
whatever.
is weird to say because it's such a different character than James Bond.
But it works.
Like if you tell me he's gonna play James Bond that way, I'm like, that's fucking awful. Do not.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. But I do want to say this. I am really happy to see Henry Cavill's getting to do Warhammer. Warhammer, I'm not super into like the painting and shit, but the games I've played in world is fucking awesome. He is super into it, and this is his passion project. And for the people saying the reason he left The Witcher was to do Superman, no. I actually talked to someone who said after this announcement came out, he did tell me, he goes, that was the reason he left. Because he could do Superman in a show all at the same time. But between Witcher and Warhammer he was. Also, do you know that his girlfriend is one of like the head higher ups for Warhammer? I did not know that until recently.
I did not know that.
That adds a lot of things to there, but it also shows why he's producing. He was probably a big part of that. So I am very excited for him. I honestly think this is his dream project. You know, so good for him. I'm happy he's getting it. He deserves a win.
Lady Aaron, Ren and Zach, would you rather be a gym leader or a champion in the Pokemon World? Champion. Easy.
Gym leaders just sit in their buildings and don't do shit.
Yeah, because then she also asked, like, what type would you specialize in? I wouldn't. Like, I want all kinds of types.
Yeah.
I don't want to specialize in one. So, yeah. Eric Thorpe, I guess less a question, more of a comment, but you guys will never guess what Kit Harington said. What his favorite season of Game of Thrones at the convention was. Season 2. Well, nobody's perfect, and Kit Harington has all the right to be wrong as well. So he's still awesome. He's still the best character of the show. Aegon Targaryen VI. I'm glad Viserys got to meet him at the convention. Dominican Scott. What are some theories for Scream 6? I have absolutely no theories. Just that there's going to be a ghost face killing people. That's my theory. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, though. Do you have any, or do you know more than I do?
I can't talk because I think I saw spoilers for the movie. So it's kind of now affected a lot of my theories, so I'm not going to say anything.
Fair. Dominican Scott, are you sad or think James Gunn knows what he's doing? People are so mad they think James Gunn should be fired. Well, the two are not mutually exclusive. Yes, I am absolutely very sad. Also, I think James Gunn knows what he's doing. I don't necessarily need to agree for him to know what he's doing, and I don't. I think this is like the worst possible direction that he could go in, but he still knows what he's doing. Again, they aren't mutually exclusive. Yeah.
Well, and that's like adding into there. I think the reason he brought up Henry is because people kept asking, and same thing with Batman. Like he's talked about those two characters because people were like, "Well, what are you doing with those?" There's so many rumors running around. I think that's why he's already come out and said, "This is what we're doing with those two characters. Stop asking." And I think we'll start to hear that about Wonder Woman a little bit sooner. We'll probably hear a couple more things. And honestly, I know it's going to kill us. I think Harley Quinn's done. I think it really is going to be a full reboot. The only film. And I really think you could still do Shazam, but Shazam again, I view should probably also be gone because it's not fair. You could change some things, but whatever. Blue Beetle, whatever references you have in there right now, you get the fuck rid of. You absolutely get the fuck rid of right now. Like you tear that fucking thing out and you say brand new thing. So maybe that's again, we don't know. We'll find out in the new year. I think that's when they said that they're going to be talking about it. I also would not be shocked if they go to Comic-Con. So that's when we'll probably find out more reasoning.
GKP, looking at the reviews for Babylon, I know you guys love the movie. Do you at least see or understand some of the criticisms coming from when the negative or mixed reviews say, I haven't seen any mixed or negative reviews saying it's too all over the place and self-indulgent. I completely disagree with that. Self-indulgent, I can see that, but I don't think it's a bad thing. It's kind of the fucking point.
Yeah,
All
it's a
over the place,
theme.
completely disagree. The film is super focused. The characters are absolutely not one note or
Yeah,
thinly
and
written. That's just
yeah, I
we
think
saw
I will say
different movies.
there's two actors I wish they got a little bit more to do. I
Yes,
don't want
yes, but I do feel
so
that's the point because if you
yeah,
see Manny's journey and him being like those two characters in the
yes,
sense, like he, you know,
and that's what I noticed on a
um,
second
that's
time
exactly the
because
journey.
that was my issue the first time
Yeah,
I watched it. The second time I rewatched it, I was like, okay, I kind of get the point of what Damien Chazelle was doing here.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, because I lost my place. Let me just find it
I have the
again.
next question. I have the
But
next
yeah,
question.
yeah,
If
go
you
ahead.
okay. G Colby also asked, you guys thought about bringing on someone like James for this discussion for Avatar 2 to get his perspective, someone who loved it, someone who liked it, and someone who didn't really. Honestly, we probably should have.
We
To really
probably should have, but because I've been so busy this past week and this show needed to be like fast, it didn't even cross my mind. But you're absolutely right to bring that up because we probably should. And maybe James can't usually join us on Saturday. He did it once because I reached out to him
enable,
way early
yeah.
in advance so he could arrange his schedule or something like that. Maybe New Year's Eve. Maybe New Year's Eve it works and we can
If
bring
there's no
back the Avatar
topics and stuff like
discussion.
that,
Yeah, if
yeah.
there's no, I mean, New Year's Eve would probably just leave it
Yeah.
for questions exclusively. Um, but it'd be fun to like get a little bit more of the Avatar debate to get that extra perspective, like Jigo EP says. Jigo EP, hey Ren, I know Zach kind of thought it wasn't going to happen, but did you see John Krasinski's quote about him possibly not returning as Reed Richards
Yeah, I
in the
knew
main
that.
MCU when he was promoting Jack Ryan season 3? I did, but people are forgetting that Andrew Garfield also said that he was not coming to No Way Home. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying I believe he is, and I'll believe he's not when I see someone else announced as the Reed Richards for the for the Fantastic Four in the MCU. As of right now, I'm still like, yeah, sure. I'll believe it when I see it. But this reinforces your belief that he's not coming back. Then,
Yeah, I mean, I've never thought he was coming back. I genuinely never thought so. So I don't know. I think they're gonna go. From everything I've heard, it's a complete new team, and they are going full on in there with who they're choosing. So I'm very excited to see who they choose. I think we're gonna find out next year in Ant-Man because they're copying Ren's idea. So
yeah, that's
I still
true.
think so,
That's
man.
true. Good shout. Good shout. GGP, what holiday movie is your biggest guilty pleasure? For me, it's The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jack Black, and Jude Law.
Never
It's
seen it.
cheesy and cliche, but it has charm to it. I always like watching it during the Christmas season. I'm going to cheat this because it used to be a guilty pleasure, but because I watch it every year, I got a new perspective on it, and that is Jingle All the Way.
I fucking love that movie.
Jingle All
It's the
the
best
Way.
Christmas movie ever made.
Jingle All the Way, it's the most accurate depiction of what Christmas is
yes.
actually like
Yes.
for a parent of a child.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
as a kid, you watch, and it has all those issues that people bring on. But that's the fucking point. It's fucking chaos. It's a fucking horror movie for this father trying to get this
Dude,
fucking
the ball
doll
pit scene.
for his. Oh my god! And the fight with the Santas, where
Yeah.
Big Show from the WWE is that. Like that movie is awesome. I love. There's one moment that doesn't hold up, and even like at the time, I think they really should have thought this through. And it's the scene in the post office where Simba gets the bomb.
Yeah.
Does not hold up.
No.
Fair enough. But apart from that, I fucking love Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. So Jingle All the Way is actually my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And I always used to be afraid to say that because over Die Hard, dude, I've never been like, to be honest, I didn't grow up watching Die Hard. So like that, it's never stuck with me. I grew up watching Jingle All the Way. Every Christmas we watch this movie and we still watch. We have a fucking my dad has a Turbo Man downstairs. So I'm huge on.
That's
dude,
awesome.
Some store had original ones in the box, and I texted him. I was like, "You should go." They just posted it, and he comes home with it, and he's like, "I'm not saying how much I spent on it, but we're never opening it." That. And I'm like, "All right, that's fair enough." So I love this movie. I will. I'll after this, I'll go take a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's awesome, dude. I fucking love this movie.
Jico EP, y'all saw the news with Donald Glover and the Sony Spider-Man universe? I did, man. The fact that there's a character called the Hypno Hustler tells you everything you need to know about this movie. It's, you know, yeah. Thoughts on Zach Braff as a director? I've never seen, like, you're naming his two movies. I've never seen his two movies, and I still haven't seen the trailer for A Good Person. I really want to see it because Florence Pugh, but I have never seen his movies, nor have I caught this trailer yet. Because again, I've just been so busy throughout this week. Did you check it out, Zach, by any chance?
Which one was it?
The
The
Good
trailer
Person
for the
with
new
Florence Pugh.
one.
Yeah, trailer.
No, it's an indie film. I don't like watching trailers for indie films, so that's just kind of like
Fair enough.
my perspective. They usually show too much.
All right. Regards to Lovisa, 2 more questions only. All right, we made it. We made it on record time. My YouTube is crashing all the time in the last half hour, so I'm late for weekly ranking. Number 3, Wednesday. Number 2, Kung Fu Hustle, and number 1, Avatar: The Way of Water. I agree with this with this ranking. I agree with it. And last question, more for Zach. How was the feeling of entering a movie theater to finally watch the Avatar sequel you've waited for so many years, where it's finally real after so many delays? And thoughts on the score for Simon Franklin. I think he did a really good job considering the passing of James Horner. Let me answer the second question first, because I can answer that one as well. I'm disappointed in the score. It's good. It's good. But there's always that thing like, this is definitely not James Horner. It's just emanating James Horner. So I wish he could have, like, I'm not even familiar with Simon as a composer. Maybe I know him from something else.
I think he's new.
He's new, okay. So I wish he could have picked on what James Horner did before and transformed it into something of his own, but it constantly felt like lesser James Horner. Honestly, at this point, I don't hate the score. Again, it's good, but I do hope at this point they get a new composer for the third one. Get James Newton Howard, okay? He's a great fit, and not just because he's also called James. But Zach, in regards to the first question, how was that feeling for the first time?
It was great. Dude, I was verbal during this movie. Like, there was like only maybe 4 of us in the theater, and the rep was sitting like a couple seats in front of me, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I was like, "Fuck you do that shit!" Like, dude, I was getting into it, and I had a blast with it. But the feeling was, it's kind of this Top Gun I was never close with because I never grew up watching the first one. But it's kind of the same feeling that I had with Toy Story 3 when I went and saw Toy Story 3 in theaters, I remember, was just I never thought this would actually be a thing. Same with Toy Story 4. I never thought this was going to be a thing. Coming into a theater to watch this. Same feeling you probably had watching the Avengers movie. This is fucking real. Like, and that was kind of the same thing I had watching the Avengers. It's like, they did it. Endgame too, dude. They fucking did it. Like, it's wild to think. There's certain movies that you go in and you're like, they fucking did it. Guardians, Infinity War, Endgame,
Babylon,
Babylon, Man of Steel. That's another one for me. Another one.
No, Man of Steel, I didn't feel that because the first time I saw Man of Steel, I didn't love it like as I do now. It was one of those films. I like that, and then just the more and more I watched it, just grew and grew and grew and grew. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my other thing. Another one was a sequence, was the Mysterio stuff. I was like, oh my fucking god, they're doing Mysterio. Like, it's movies like this that remind me, like, movies are so important. Like, they're so important. I have a friend who's texting me right now who got out of it last night, and she's like, I have to see it again. I have to see it again. And I'm like, I fucking told you, man. It's that fucking good, dude. Like, so I don't know. It's a great feeling.
All right, everyone. And that does it for episode 36 of This Week in Geek. Don't forget, next week we'll have a break because it's Christmas, and we wish you all a happy Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. But we will see you before 2023. We will see you on New Year's Eve for my best guess, even if there's a topic to discuss, unless it's yet another changing in the hierarchy of power of the DC universe. We're just gonna celebrate with each other and answer your questions and all that. So come on, join us in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for all the videos Zach and I have to give you. Tons of end of year lists. I have 3 more reviews to give you. And 2 of them are coming this upcoming week. There's a video coming tonight. There's a video coming tomorrow. Lots of videos in the next 2 weeks, guys, as we count down the days of 2020 through 2022. Thank you so much for watching. All of my links, all of Zach's links are in the description. And whether you found us live on YouTube or you're listening to us on your gym routine, on your commute, on your jog, on Spotify, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. So until then, love each other.